Once upon a time, there was a countryside called Springdale, which was known for its picturesque beauty with its creeks and lofty mountains. In Springdale there lived an old and wise woman. Compared to her, the other dwellers were backward and ignorant, who also happened to be superstitious by nature. The old woman's ability to predict weather forecast by simply gazing at the sky and noting the speed of the wind to predict a rainfall or sleet, or simply a plain warm day itself, apart from many other things, was overwhelming and beyond the comprehension of the ignorant folks. Hence, they decided that she had to be a witch. But the fact remained that she possessed no magical powers. So the residents started behaving oddly towards her. Perturbed by their behavior, the old woman decided to leave the countryside and reside in the forest nearby. In this village were many shepherds who took their sheep to graze on the surrounding mountains. One of them was a boy named Victor. Victor lived with his widowed mother and did his best in augmenting his mother's income by collecting rare flowers and fruits from the mountains and selling them in the local market. One morning, Victor said to his mother,
"Mother, I am taking the sheep to the mountains for grazing. Do take care."
"You take care, Victor. Don't forget to return before dusk." Victor nodded and left for the mountains herding the sheep. In the evening, when it was time to head home, to his utter shock and dismay, he found a lamb missing.
What do I do now? Where did the little lamb go? I have to find her before the sun sets.
So he ran in all directions, scouring the area, hoping to hear it bleat somewhere, but in vain. Disheartened, he returned back to the village with his herd of sheep. At home, he thought aloud,
I can't give up. I have to find that lamb somehow. I think I will seek help from my friends.
So he hurried to the nearby creek where he usually met his 5 friends. There he found them happily sharing a joke. Victor called out breathlessly as he reached them.
Hey!
His friends all turned to look at him with a grin. One of his friends caught the look on Victor's face. He inquired,
What's wrong? You look distressed. One of my lambs is missing. It is somewhere in the mountains, and I can't seem to find it. I have to find it before nightfall. Will you all please help me to find it?
Instantly, the boys agreed, and they all hurried towards the mountains. When they reached the spot, they spread out in different directions and scoured the area thoroughly. As luck would have it, one of the boys spotted the lamb, happily and unmindfully chewing some wild flowers high up on a rocky slope.
Hey, I have found it! It's here! Come, quickly!
Delighted, Victor, along with the other boys, came running towards him. To get the attention of the lamb, the boys shouted and clapped their hands, but the lamb paid no heed to them. A while later, they gave up.
Now what? If we don't rescue the lamb before nightfall, it may become prey to some wild animal or die of cold. Please think of some way to rescue it, for I feel completely addled now.
The boys looked at him sadly.
Sorry, Victor. We have given it our best shot. We now have to leave the lamb to its destiny. You do one thing, Victor. Go to the old woman who is a witch and seek her help. She might be able to help you.
Victor brightened up.
What are you all waiting for then? Let us go!
Oh no! They all chorused and shook their heads fearfully.
Why? What's wrong? I thought you said that it was a good idea to seek her help. Since it is your lamb, you go. I am not coming. I think I hear my dear mother calling me. What if she turns me into a stone? Wild horses can't drag me there. What if she makes a meal for us? I still haven't enjoyed my life completely yet. I am too young to die and too old to lie. No way am I accompanying you there.
So they all slinked away, leaving poor Victor to his plight. Victor looked up at the lamb, all alone there, bleating helplessly now that it had finished its meal.
I will save you somehow, little one. Hold on till I come.
Then Victor ran away from there to the forest nearby. He ran as fast as he could to the witch's hut in the forest and knocked on her door. Receiving no answer, he boldly pushed open the door and went in. As he stepped inside, he found the old woman lying fast asleep on a torn mat.
Mother Witch? Mother Witch? Please get up.
The old woman opened her eyes with a start. She looked angry at being called a witch, but when she saw how sad and frightened he looked, she composed herself.
What's the matter, my son?
I need your help in rescuing my lamb, which is right now stuck on a rocky slope. I tried my best to rescue it, but failed. The lamb needs to be saved before nightfall, for it is not safe for it to be left alone amongst the wild animals that roam the area. Please, you have got to help me.
Hearing this, the old woman laughed in a jovial manner.
Does that mean you would help me with your magic?
Of course, but I don't possess any magical powers, nor does anyone else, for that matter. One has to solve a problem with pure common sense. One has to put these little brain cells to work. Know what I mean? Let's go.
But we thought you were a witch.
She then picked up a torn woolen shawl from a chair and wrapped it over her shoulders. Then she took along with her a rope and 3 pieces of cloth from the cupboard and left for the mountains with Victor. When they reached the place, the old woman looked around for a path which the lamb could have taken to reach the place where it was now stranded. Finally, she found one.
I want you to take this path and find out where it leads.
Victor nodded and took the path. He soon reached a spot from where he could see the lamb in clear view.
I can see the lamb. What to do now?
Come down now. I will explain as to what to do further.
When Victor came back, the old woman handed him the rope and 3 pieces of cloth.
When you are on the way to the top, pluck some of those wild flowers which the lamb loves. Entice it with these flowers. When she comes near, use the 2 pieces of cloth to bind her legs together, and use the 3rd to blindfold her. With this rope, you can fasten her to your back, and then you can return safely. Go, I have complete faith in you.
I know what to do now. I will soon be back with the lamb.
So Victor went up the path, plucking some wild flowers on the way. When he reached the top, he did as he was told, and everything went as smoothly as the old woman had predicted. When a triumphant Victor came down the path with the lamb tied to his back, the old woman's face broke into a grin.
Marvelous, Victor. I knew you could do it. You are a hero. Now, let me see you home safely before returning to my hut.
Victor thanked her profusely and then set the lamb down. He removed her blindfold and untied her. Then the happy duo set off towards the village with the lamb safely tucked into Victor's arms. It was nighttime and the entire village was asleep except Victor's mother, who lay weeping for her son, who she felt had come to some harm through the old witch. When Victor entered their house with the lamb in his arms, his mother's joy knew no bounds. Meanwhile, the old woman had slipped away quietly, knowing the boy was now safe. Victor narrated the day's events to his mother.
Mother, the old woman is truly a very nice, helpful, and wise person. She is not a witch at all. She helped me by using her wisdom and presence of mind, and not by any magic which she doesn't possess. It is not right of the people to treat her in this manner. I have to do my bit in clearing up her reputation.
The next day, when news reached everyone about how the old woman had helped Victor in rescuing his lost lamb, they were filled with remorse about the shabby treatment that had meted out to her. So when Victor, along with his mother, went to the forest to return her articles, the villagers too accompanied them. When they reached her hut, they found the old woman standing outside. When she saw them, she was greatly surprised. Victor stepped forward and introduced his mother to her. Victor's mother reached towards the old woman and held her hands. "Thank you very much for being this kind and helpful. If it had not been for you, I doubt whether my son would have returned safely with the missing lamb. And please do forgive us all for having been unkind to you all this time. I request you to please come and live with me and Victor in our humble house." The villagers too crowded around the old woman and asked for her forgiveness. Then they too implored her to come and live with them and to be their guide and mother. The old woman happily agreed and spent the rest of her life enlightening the people by sharing her wisdom and knowledge of the herbs found in the mountain region. She tried to inculcate the importance of learning and removing the superstitions from their society. Years later, Victor too followed her footsteps and became capable of boldly facing any hardship of his and others through his acquired wisdom and knowledge from the old woman. The moral of this story is that the highest wisdom is not magic, but knowledge and its practical use by using one's presence of mind to solve a problem.